All right, so I wanted to point out a really interesting feature of the Line 6 StageScape M20d. There's just a boatload of amazing features in this thing. I've had this unit since near the time they came out. I think I bought this in December 2012 and have been using it regularly for band gigs for the last year and a half or so. And it's really an amazing unit. Sounds great consistently. It's easy to use. It makes setups easy for the whole band. And I wanted to point out a really neat feature that we came across. We were playing an outdoor gig, and normally I would prefer to have some powered subwoofers for an outdoor gig like this. It wasn't enormous. It wasn't, in a big amphitheater or anything. It was a sort of in an outdoor pavilion, and we didn't have any powered subs available. I probably could have borrowed some from a friend, but the problem was my shoulder has been acting up, and carrying them was not something I was looking forward to. So we made use of a couple extra passive 15-inch cabinets and basically used them as subwoofers. And we were able to do that effectively with our existing amps because of the features of the Line 6 mixer. So I have an amplifier. It's I have a couple Behringer iNuke NU3000 amps, and one of the features of those amps is a crossover. So instead of running two sides in mono or stereo, where you would send one full range signal to each side, you can actually engage this crossover function. And so what happens is channel A on the amp becomes the high pass channel, so everything over 100 hertz goes out to that channel, and the low pass channel is channel B. And everything under 100 hertz gets sent out to that channel. There are some other ways you can use it too, like biamping. If you use a 4-pole Neutrik connector out, there's a bunch of cool things you can do with that, going out to a subwoofer and then the subwoofer extending out to the full range. But we weren't using that, so we used the channel A and B combined setup. So again, just to remind you, channel A would be the high pass and channel B would be the low pass. So the problem that we encountered is that there was not enough volume on the lows to make them effective as subwoofers. It didn't sound bad. It just didn't really have the thump we were looking for. So I used one of the features in the Line 6 mixer, which is the multiband compressor, which comes on many of the channels. This thing is full of all sorts of secret cool tweaks. So I'm going to show you how I got there. So I basically reach over to the mains, select the mains, and then go to tweak. And normally you will see a screen that looks like this. This is the quick tweak. It allows you to do some easy changes quickly. You don't have to have a degree in sound engineering to use it. But it's a little limited, right? All you basically have is this tone control up here. I don't know how easy it is to see. And then you can use this XY pad to sort of decide, do you want a brighter sound? Do you want a warmer sound? And so on and so forth. But if you go to Deep Tweak, what you'll find is that there is a whole bunch of functionality hidden back here. And one of the things, I'm hoping that this will come out appropriately in the video. One of the things that you'll see here is this 4-comp. All right, that is a 4-band dynamic compressor. All right, and you're going to see how I set this up here. It's a little extreme. I'm not recommending that you use this for your normal PA. And I normally don't have to tamper much with this because, frankly, the sound that comes out of this automatically and the EQ curve that I use with the mains that we have has been, it just sounds phenomenal. It sounds natural, warm where it needs to be, bright where it needs to be. I cut out a little bit of the mud, but this particular night we really needed some more oomph in the bottom end because it was not an enclosed space; it was outside, and we really needed that thump to carry. So what I did is basically to move the threshold down to pretty low, about under 30 dB, minus 30 dB, And I turned the ratio down a bit because I was really not looking to squash the dynamics of the thump much. What I really was looking for is right over here, the gain, right? And you'll see that I cranked the gain way up, about 13.5 dB. And so the effect of that was basically to raise the volume that was going out through our amp's low crossover to these passive 15-inch speakers that we were basically using as subwoofers, right? And so what happened is all that low information was coming out at a higher volume. So I was able to use this to balance the volume of these makeshift subwoofers to give us a much more pleasant and balanced sound. And then I played around a little bit with the crossover frequency here. You can see it's not quite set at 100. And one of the reasons I did that is because I didn't want too much of that thump coming out through the space where the crossover was, maybe hitting the full range speakers and have it sound out of balance. So I just played with this until it sounded decent, right? If you have a set of speakers, you will want to set that, using your ear, and it will depend on the crossover frequency that you're using. Again, we had a really special situation. If you've got active subwoofers, you may not ever need to use a function like this. But the fact that it was here in the M20d really just it brought our music out that much more clearly and with power. And it really wound up very good. We had a lot of people come up to us and tell us how much they enjoyed the sound of the band, and the lows really got them feeling it. And even our drummer came out, and when we were trying out some tracks that we played back through the PA, when we were doing our sound check, he remarked on how the thump really carried, and we were very impressed by being able to do this. And again, we were able to do this because basically the M20d has got tens of thousands of dollars of signal processing built into it. I mean, yes, these units are $2,000. They're not cheap, but you are basically buying the equivalent of like 50 or 70 grand worth of high-end studio grade quality dynamic effects, and it really is a great value for the money, and it just shows how versatile this unit is. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and maybe it'll give you some ideas for your own system and for doing your own sound a little better. All right, so talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.